Of course. And I didn't. I just wanted to preface with, is it okay if I ask questions about your family's past
Yeah,
and everything,
yeah.
and just some questions about segregation that you may have
Yeah.
experienced in the past?
Mhm.
All right, because obviously that's the point of our
Yeah.
project. So, yeah. So where was I? So you attended the church at the top of the street?
Yeah, I was baptized there. I grew up in
Okay.
the church.
Excellent.
My
Excellent.
grandfather was a pastor at one time.
All right.
At the church.
That's a Baptist church, correct?
It's a Baptist church.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And just a regular church. Was there any sort of neighborhood activities?
Oh,
that the
neighborhood
church
activities
had?
used to be called the center up there. That's where we played before
Okay.
they redid the whole park.
Yeah.
It was an area that we had baseball games. We had events. I mean, that's where we hung out as
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That was
of
our
course.
spot. You know, to kind of hang out.
Absolutely. Well, were there like a lot of kids around here?
Oh, it was tons of kids.
Yeah.
Like we were in the summertime, we were out all night long. Like
Lo-
I mean, I lived around the corner too, but my grandparents lived up the street. They owned
Okay.
a house here.
Where? How far did you used to live?
My parents live on Radnor Road.
Oh, all right. That's only right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then when I came back from school and had my family, I raised my
All right.
family right here.
And how long have you been in this particular property?
11 years.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Nice. Nice. So you grew up on Radnor Road.
But really here, because we're always,
Yeah.
back then, you're always at your grandparents' house. If
This-
you're sick, if you're whatever's going
This is
on,
true.
you're at your grandparents' house.
This is true.
That's where Sunday dinner is.
Of course.
I mean, we don't have Sunday dinner anymore, but that's everybody was required to come to Sunday dinner back then.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Did you, I don't know if I asked this, but did you? How many brothers and sisters did you have? Any?
I have one brother that grew up in the area. I have other brothers, but
Okay.
this is one brother that grew up here.
Okay, and the other brothers were lived with your father?
Yeah,
or-
they live other places.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Cool.
My brother John, he went to Upper Marion too. So.
Nice. So, what do you do for work nowadays?
I am a manager for Bob's Discount Furniture.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
Where is the Bob's discount?
I'm in Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh,
I
wow.
was at the King Pressure store. I worked at Raymore and Flanagan for a while too. So.
Oh, that's quite a commute.
Yeah,
We're-
not too bad.
Oh no, how long of a commute is that usually?
Maybe about 30, 40 minutes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I used to
Not
be.
bad.
It's not bad compared to all the managers. Either live in New Jersey or
Yeah.
they live in Philly. Like nobody lives in Delaware because if you have to transfer, they're building so many stores right now because Bob's is backed by Bain Capital.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're $70 billion.
Yeah, that is a
So
large
we're
company.
going to Chicago next year. We're putting 5 stores out there. So
Okay.
yeah, that's what I do now.
All
Mostly
right.
operations, like operations manager.
Oh, that's sweet. So, do you find that there's a lot of people in the Mount Pleasant area that commute to work, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're older, most had local jobs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Either work for the school district or work for the area to different township
Okay.
or Upper Marion Township.
So, is that the same with when you were growing up? Were
Yeah,
were
they
your
had
parents?
my dad was a truck driver,
Okay.
and my mom stayed home.
Your mom was staying home.
Yeah,
All right.
till we got. She started working part time once we started going to school. Eventually, she started full time, but not then. We were both basically staying home.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
And your mother. So she her maiden name was what again? I'm sorry.
Oliver.
Oliver. Okay.
Yeah, but my Aunt Peggy was the first homecoming queen for black homecoming queen for Conestoga.
No way. Oh,
Mhm.
that's really cool.
We get a lot of
Yeah.
those kids. Like, I used to work at Chipotle, and we used to get a lot of those kids from, like, Conestoga. And I'm not from this area. I'm from
Uh-huh.
Maryland.
Okay.
So, when you, like, name some of these areas, I'm like, is that, like a good spot? Is that, like, a bad
Yeah, well,
spot?
this is the good spot. Like, that's why I'm pretty sure they're doing the history because, like, this area here, my grandmother, my mom's mom, she was a maid. So they picked her up every day, and that's what she did for her whole life. Her whole career was the maid for different families, but later
Okay.
on the same family. And my great grandparents, they were maids and drivers, and that's what they did.
Awesome.
Their whole they worked for those families, and that's
Okay.
what they did for the whole time. And that's basically this area right here. A lot of people got here because they didn't want to go to the city to pick up the help. They wanted them to be close by.
All right. Do you know? Obviously, you had family in the area, but was there anything specific that brought you to this area, to this specific neighborhood?
Like to come
you
back after going
Yeah,
to different places.
Exactly.
Just because the area stays the same.
Yeah.
Like it's a good place. I mean, I lived in Norristown
Oh, okay.
and hated this school district's awful. Like it's the worst
Yeah.
school district there is.
Yeah,
that's
this
in
is
the
true.
area.
Absolutely.
And then my son has dyslexia, my youngest one,
Oh, all right.
and one of the teachers was like, get out now. I
So
mean, if a teacher tells you to get out now, like
you didn't find the support there. That you
no.
did,
And then he did go to Conestoga, but I did not like Conestoga because
No.
this house you can go to either school district, you can go to Conestoga, or you can go up to Marion.
Yeah, that's true. Because there is a township break.
There's like a
right
border,
mid-road,
right?
This house is back then they didn't really do property, so the property is owned on you pay taxes to both.
Really?
Yeah.
That must make for a confusing April.
Yeah, pay taxes to both.
Wow. And Barbara was explaining to me that like sometimes they only plow.
So, yeah, you only
right
get
up to
half,
your
and
road?
because then Montgomery Township's down there. This is different.
Okay.
That side is Montgomery.
All right. So, is there any other sort of township issues that you would think of in, maybe sort of areas where Mount Pleasant isn't, getting the road fixed when they should because they're on the weird township line?
It seemed like when you go to other neighborhoods, the roads were better, or just before it seemed like, I guess because our age group were so used to our parents fighting for stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I went off to college and came back, and I believe in fighting for things, but maybe people that stayed, it was simpler. Like we didn't really have the challenges of what they, to go out and fight for it. But we started fighting for it like when we had college kids start moving in the area, and there was like a whole bunch of craziness going on.
Yeah, so that,
and like, I mean, it was disrespect in the neighborhood. When I went off to college, and that's what I said, I didn't disrespect the area that I was in. I went to school in North Carolina. I didn't disrespect the people, the area. I was there.
Of course.
So if you live in this area, would you really do that in your neighborhood?
No,
That's what we
course
try to
not.
put to the colleges.
Exactly.
Not that nobody doesn't want you here. It's just that just treat it like it's home. I
Of
know it's
course.
a temporary
It's
home,
the
but treat it like
respect,
it's home no
yeah.
matter who lives here.
Exactly.
I mean,
So the resurgence of students in the area has been an issue for this neighborhood.
yeah, because everybody knows everybody here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Barbara was telling us. Like, you would go out on your front porch and you could talk to everybody, but it's like, it's not the same vibe, it's not the same feeling.
No, like somebody could reprimand me, the person across the street. Like once you did something bad, everybody know about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so it wasn't like a big secret. Like it wasn't, everybody knew everybody. If somebody was suffering or somebody needed something or
That's great.
what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
it was helpful.
the
So
perfect neighborhood.
and that's the neighborhoods, this street, the next 3 streets.
Yeah, of course.
That were.
So, do you find, obviously, one of the purposes of us doing projects in Mount Pleasant right now is because we are aware of the students' impact right now and how there are maybe 3 or 4 Cabrini student houses on this road. I'm not sure quite how many, but is there anything, if you were to speak to them to give them a message on what you would like them to treat the neighborhood for?
Well, I don't know where people grow up. Some people have the influence of maybe what they see on TV or whatever, and they feel like this is how we're going to act in whatever neighborhood.
Yeah.
My thing is treat it like it's your own.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I know you're away from home, and you're kind of your parents aren't there,
Yeah.
but and also holding the landlords accountable. I mean, if you were in an apartment building and you made noise every night, you wouldn't be in that apartment building anymore. So you have to treat it like, hey, this is a neighborhood. No matter who, black, red, yellow, green live here.
Yeah.
Everybody wants peace. We're all working. Like, I go to work early in the morning. Hey, I'm all for the party. Like, come on, I'm all for the party too.
Exactly.
But
be considerate.
be considerate. Like, if it's during the week, cut it off at a certain time, or say, hey, friends, don't be talking loud while you're walking through the neighborhood. Just get to your car
Exactly.
and figure out who's your friend or not. Like, you can't invite everybody to your house.
This is true. So basically, the issues are with loud noises and
like the parties and stuff.
parking, possibly.
And coming up the street, there's kids.
Speeding. That's what she said.
Speeding is a
Speeding
big issue.
because there's kids,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the kids, you take your time. Like this is the neighborhood, or if you're coming up
Absolutely.
the street's not big enough to take 2 cars. So the
No.
courtesy is whoever somebody has to get over. Like
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you can't keep coming towards me. And I don't have anywhere to go on this side, but you don't. You have somewhere to go on the other side.
Exactly.
So just being courteous. There's nothing wrong with just you're in college, you're doing what you need to do,
course.
but you don't never know where you're gonna live
Yeah, this is
and
very
where it's
true.
gonna take you.
Other than the student issues, is there any other particular issue that you can think of with Mount Pleasant, off the top of your head?
Like the empty lots. I know, like when we did our walking tour, there's like a lot of empty lots, and she was explaining.
It's just because I don't know. It just seemed like the parents and everybody got older. You know what I mean? Or kids didn't even want to live here. I don't think you know the value of living here until you live somewhere else. Yeah. So I lived other places. So when you live somewhere else, you're like, oh,
I miss home.
Yeah. Like I could leave my windows down. Like nobody's gonna jump in my car and just drive off. Like you know what I'm saying?
This is true.
My son could walk home and let himself in the house without anybody trying to come. Every neighborhood has small problems or whatever, but there's nothing huge here.
This is true.
So I guess the value of it, and then I guess when people did buy the homes, they just try to commercialize it and put as many, not keep it as a neighborhood. Like maybe redo the house, but don't commercialize it so much.
Yeah, Barbara was telling us about the new properties that are being built now.
They're like
very here. Modernized and stuff like that. Then you have like kind of like the old neighborhood, and it's like it's contrast.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't fit in.
It doesn't fit in. So what are you going to do? So that means people are going to come here and try to buy these homes eventually and try to force the issue
put more of that out.
And put more of that. There's no character left to the neighborhood.
Exactly.
I mean, everything is good or change or improvement, but
absolutely.
These homes were built by the people that bought them.
Yeah.
It wasn't like someone came in and
looked at the landscape of the neighborhood
and said, okay, I'm going to do this. This is, built the way.
Of course.
What they have. That's why my house is still the same, because when I moved out of Norristown, but my best friend's uncle lives here.
Okay.
So they want somebody to stay with him. So me and my son moved in here and we stayed, but he passed away.
Oh, all right.
So I ended up staying as long as however long I want to stay.
Oh, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's inherited in a way.
Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, some things I just didn't change. I mean, I painted or whatever, kind of like left the character just because. I mean, eventually I will have to change it, but
it has a past if there's something nice about that.
It has a past. Like when I pulled up the carpet, it had newspaper under there. So that's how they padded it back then. Like they had all this in like the newspaper and the dates.
Must have been funny to see.
Just to see how they do things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now, being that Mount Pleasant is such like a crazy tight knit community.
Did not even know it was here. Like
I know.
I did not know.
Honestly, I've driven past this for years.
Because people expect like it's just going to be like crazy music going on. It's not like that. Everybody's working, kids going to school. Like it's normal.
Exactly.
It's normal.
Exactly. It's just this rare little tiny almost city within these large townships.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like Mount Pleasant was in a way alienated from the extremely
or like pushed aside or something?
Yeah, because technically what was here, I mean, my grandmother was a maid.
Yeah.
So you lived in a good, your kids benefited from going to the school.
Of course.
But you still had to do your work as a maid. Like, it was really the convenient for the wealthy.
Yeah, exactly.
The wealthy needed to come be able to pick you up to go clean their houses. It was better than you coming from the city.
Exactly.
And them having to get you from the train or wherever. They can come to your house, pick you up, and drop back you up from the neighborhood. Not that people, and not think about it.
Yeah,
still close, but not so close that they're walking out the door.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
Was there ever any moment in your, recent history or looking further back that was direct racism from the neighboring community to Mount Pleasant?
Well, I'm gonna say Bridgeport, and it's close. It's like
okay.
And I went for an apartment, but I talked to the gentleman over the phone. I'm like, I want to come see the apartment. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I showed up because to him I didn't sound black. So I showed up and he told me the apartment was rented. Yes. So I sent my girlfriend who was white and I said, I can't believe this apartment is rented like right now.
Oh, it's available.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It was available.
Of course.
And that's the first time that I ever really kind of, because I went to Upper Marion, which is a little bit more diverse than
that's true.
Than Conestoga.
Okay.
But I never really thought about it. I went to a predominantly black college, so I had like the best of both worlds. I was.
Which is where?
I went to Fayetteville State University.
Okay.
It's near Fort Bragg.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like taken back, like this really still happens. But then as I got into my career and work, and being the operations manager, and sometimes being the only woman, the only black woman. Yeah. Like, you start seeing, like, the guys making more money than you're making.
Of course, yeah.
Because my job is basically non-traditional. A lot of women are in operations or in, like, because I'm in furniture, so it's different. It's mostly a white male dominated.
Yeah, like most markets.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. So you see the differences, and you have to fight harder. You have to work harder.
Yeah.
But we're all raised that way.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Like, now, I didn't ever think I was gonna be teaching my sons, okay, keep your hands on the wheels. Don't make any sudden moves. With all the things happening, right. I'm still teaching the same things that my dad was going through.
Yeah. So
not so much, but the kids don't get it because they went to school and everything was, okay.
Of course.
But I have to teach them these things or remind them, not that they don't know, but constantly be like,
you don't know what your parents went through.
Or you don't know what's going to happen today. Like, you can make a sudden move and they think you're
right.
grabbing
your
for
natural
something,
reaction
and,
could be something.
They might shoot you.
Especially
I don't know.
Nowadays, I mean.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I have to say that same thing. That's probably, like, the most disheartening thing. Like, you have to say the same thing.
Like, I'm not sure if you heard about the recent story. It was actually a son and his father that ended up suing the school that he went to. It was some southern school, but it ended up suing the school because he was just walking from the library back to his room, and, like, public safety was asking who you are, like, where are you coming from, this and forth, never asked for his ID, and assumed that because there was, like, a reported robbery on campus, that it was him. Never asked for ID or anything like that. So, of course, the dad was upset because it's the point that you're, one, making a false accusation about somebody just because of the way they look, and then not even card them, then ask questions. You're pointing a gun in my son's face, and now I have to explain this to my son, saying, okay, this is what you have to look out for, these, what you're going to have to react to, like, and then even his kids, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Right.
Hopefully it changes. Like, my son, they weren't supposed to have a party, but my nephew was going to California to go play football, college. Okay. Well, you know how things, they forget how popular they are. Because my son plays basketball, they all are, like, here. So I'm upstairs. I'm, like, hearing all these cars. I'm like, oh, what is going on? There was, like, a ton of kids in the back. Like, kids. Now, somebody's smoking weed. Now, they don't live in a neighborhood. Somebody has liquor.
Yikes.
They're 18 and 19 years old. I'm confiscating stuff, but the police show up.
The worst.
My son is out front. The mayor, I call him. The mayor. I said, look, Mr. Mayor. So he's trying to talk to him. And the guy, I said, they end up stopping all these kids up front, up top. The street. And, like, checking them and seeing if I didn't get in any trouble. I said, I don't even know. I just got them from work. They just all descended here.
And these are Conestoga students?
Yes.
Okay.
Conestoga, Upper Marion, all,
They get a little wild, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, so he's, like, talking to my son. I said, look, these are college kids. So they're trying to do something. So whatever's going on, let's not make a big, whatever. And the guy was like, well, I'm talking to him because I said, look, I'm his mother, so you talk to me. Like, you don't, I told him, my son was like, Mom, no. Because I'm his mother and I'm still responsible. I don't care if he's 18, 19, I'm still responsible because I still have to pay his bills.
Yeah, you pay everything.
Okay? So he lives here. And then finally, everybody, and they arrested. But the kids that were from Norristown that were black, I made them stay here.
Yeah. Because
I was just afraid that... Yeah. For some reason, that something was going to happen to them. Like, I'm like, you guys, just wait till everything is over.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
But that's how you have to think. You can't think that they're going to get a fair shake.
Of course not. I mean,
you don't know.
In a neighborhood like this, it gets confusing because it is so safe and it is so helping of a community.
I guess it felt at one point that it was so safe.
Well, yeah, at one point. Do you feel like as soon as you leave this very close-knit community that everywhere else is less comforting? Is that why you find yourself that you moved
staying
back
here? Yeah, I would probably move south where it would be more.
Okay.
Because I lived down there, I went to school down there, so I feel more comfortable.
Of course, I have.
Not saying it's any better because it's still I hear things. Sometimes it's a little worse than here, but if I was to move somewhere to live other neighborhoods, I'm not afraid to meet new people and live in other neighborhoods.
Of course.
So, but I just at this point. If I'm gone all day, I don't have to worry about anything happening.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, and that's the important thing right now.
Absolutely.
That's really important, that kids are safe.
Absolutely. I don't mean to run off my list here. I didn't want to get too far off topics. So I have a few random questions.
Right.
We might have touched on them briefly.
Okay, that's no problem.
But is there any, can you think of any, like, sort of fun childhood memories? You know, I know you used to play up at the...
cookouts. Like,
cookouts,
everybody had
a lot of
cookouts.
cookouts.
Like, I mean, you cookouts, Christmas parties.
Okay.
I mean, we had all those things. If one person had, somebody had a cookout, you're over there. And just being outside at night in the summertime. Just hanging out and just having a good time. Sitting on the step.
Everyone being together was the best part.
Yeah. Running up and down the streets. You know what I mean? That's how it was.
That is great. Do you know what anyone that you grew up with who maybe have left the neighborhood, what they're up to nowadays?
Yeah, we all kind of, because our parents are still here, or church.
Oh,
you go to church. I mean, wouldn't really see anybody unless I went to church.
Yeah. So they all come back for Christmas, maybe. And
yeah, and that's the only time you might see somebody. Maybe Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving. There's some people who have left. I mean, my best friend left. She lives in Maryland. She's happy.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Where does she live in Maryland?
Got a local.
Near Townsend, not too far from Townsend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, Bob's we built 2 stores down that way that they're opening in May.
Oh,
Yep.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom.
So she moved. She likes it. I mean, it's a nice area. It's a productive area.
Of course.
It's diverse. Wherever I go, I look for that diversity. I don't have to be in the same place with all the same people. I just like to see everybody.
Yeah.
Because there is everybody, and that's how I raise my kids. That you're gonna have to deal with everybody. You're never gonna be just one person. And I just think people that stay in that one group, which Mount Pleasant kind of became that one group of people.
Yeah.
You know, but my neighbor, he's lived here Tom's lived here forever. Like, you know, he's been here forever.
And he's to the left of you?
Yeah, he's a white male. He falls in. He comes up to the church. I mean, he came to the cookout. Like, you know, it doesn't make a difference to us.
It's not a racial thing.
No, I think it makes a difference to other people.
Okay.
Because anybody can come and be and enjoy. And that's how it's always been.
So the community itself doesn't
the
see
community,
color.
no. If you're coming here and your family and you're raising, no.
That's exactly why this is a beautiful neighborhood. So, is there anything, anything at all with, if you could put a swimming pool in one of the empty lots, is there a way that you would improve Mount Pleasant?
I would put maybe a community center.
Community center?
Yeah. For like, I know they have the smaller one up there, but something larger.
Okay.
Like where maybe even if adults wanted to go learn how to use computers, or like here, like I know there's other places, but how much would it bring here to somebody else to come and experience the neighborhood here and not have to go somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
To like other neighborhoods out in Wayne, like, you know, just something communal that they could, you know, use, even if it's like job training. I mean, we were all prepped to go to college and do big things, and, you know, kids now, there's so many other things pulling them different ways.
I know.
Yeah, churches can do it, but what if you don't go to church? Yeah. Not everybody goes to church. They might want to feel more comfortable going to the community center that will help them. Exactly. So I think a community center would definitely be
that'd be a great
good
improvement. Is there So, what did you work as a child? What some of your neighborhood friends?
Oh yeah, we all worked. We worked at in the mall.
In the mall?
Yeah.
In KOP?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's where
Sweet.
we worked.
Nice.
Everybody either worked there or worked. You know, some people didn't work, but we worked. I worked at Burger King. I think that was my first job at 14.
Burger King?
Dad, yep, my dad took me.
Where's the Burger King around?
It's on 202. Yeah, it's on 202 in King of Prussia, but there used to be one in the mall.
Oh, that's right.
So I used to go to the one in the mall,
right?
and that's the one I worked at.
Okay.
So yeah,
Sweet.
And then I worked Orange Julius, like different jobs. The movie theater, which they tore that down. They had a movie theater over there where, what's that restaurant? The Italian restaurant over there. Like to eat family style.
Why can't I think of that?
I know the name, but I can't
you
think
know,
of it.
I don't know.
It used to be over there in the movie theater. We didn't even have registers. You had to count everything out by
Oh, new. Oh, new.
So you had to be good at math.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
that wouldn't
sucks.
happen.
Like, counting,
Yeah, I mean,
counting the
generation.
drawers.
Yeah, it was movie theater. You had no register or anything.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
That is really funny.
Counting the drawers at night at my job is a
And at
headache.
Burger King, I started at $2.85. That's how much they paid.
Wow.
$2.85.
$2.85. Oh, that's
I was 14.
Come a long way.
yeah,
Somewhat.
seriously.
Yeah.
And I thought I complained about minimum wage.
Right.
Right.
But so if you were to basically say like Mount Pleasant's best time period, like I know
heyday.
that maybe it's heyday. Like if there was a time period where that was my favorite time of my life involving Mount Pleasant.
I probably the late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah, early 80s.
Just the most amount of community was.
Most
during
amount
then.
of community. We had a good pastor in the 80s. I mean, he's passed away.
Okay.
That was new.
Okay.
There was always something going on in the neighborhood.
No college students, maybe.
No college students. Everybody knew everybody. You know, everybody was growing up, going, to high school,
Okay.
and just
So-
looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, of course. Of
You
course.
know.
That's great. So to retouch on the Cabrini students, is there any way? How do you think Cabrini could help this community? If we were in any way.
Because I noticed, like, one of the problems you said was, like, the landlords, like, they would just, like, sell them, like, rent them to the Cabrini students, or even Villanova students, and then would
I don't
never
have
check
a
in.
problem with writing and making your money, but they're not from here.
The landlords aren't from
They're
here.
not from here, so why would you care? You're
That's
just making
interesting.
your money.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have any investment. I know one of the landlords was saying something about something, I don't know. I guess I don't know what happened, if it was a pizza man or somebody got robbed or whatever. And I'm like, well, who? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I said, I don't hear anything. Like, I mean, I live here.
Yeah.
Like, every day. And I said, what are you talking about? Who are you talking about? When did this happen? Like, I want to know all those things. Like, if that's going on, how come we don't know about it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's an untruth. Like, he's just making it up to seem like, my understanding, he said he brought the neighborhood, making it better because he came here. And
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, if you say so. You know what I mean? But what you're saying is basically we have trouble here. We have troubles here. I don't see the police here every 5 seconds. That's not troubles.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Are you making this up, or maybe making it bigger than what it is? It's basically just getting to know your neighborhood.
Okay.
When I go somewhere, just introduce myself. To see somebody out there,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here for the summer. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going to school. You don't know the area. What can I do here?
That's true.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true. Yeah, do you
Help out. Maybe there's elderly people that might need help out
That's
or
true.
whatever.
I feel like a lot of people don't know about this area. Do you ever find like
Yeah, most people don't know. Even other African Americans can't believe that African Americans live out in this area. They don't know. They don't know. They're like shocked.
I was very shocked coming up here, like, coming to Cabrini, like, seeing, like, the neighborhoods around here and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to be like for my parents, and my dad used to come out the yard because they live on Radnor Road, and they're nice houses, really
Okay.
nice houses
Yeah.
over there. And they come out, and people just basically look like,
What's
like,
on that
well, who? Oh my God! Like, and there's only 2 black families on that road.
road? Really?
It might be more now, but when I grew up, it was my friend's grandmother. She lived the street, and that was it.
Yeah.
So you came around here to this corner, and this was your home.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I felt myself, as I said earlier, I drive by this all the time. I never knew this was, as far as I knew, it just looked like an alleyway,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this really in-depth community. And do you ever feel like your contributions to, Radnor Township, or what is it, Radnor and Tredyffrin here? Or
It's 3.
3.
It's Radnor,
Oh, geez.
Montgomery, which Upper Marion, Montgomery County,
okay,
and then
Montgomery
Tredyffrin.
And Tredyffrin, jeez.
Which is Chester and Tredyffrin.
God, that gets very...
So it's 3. So my parents' street, half of it is Radnor Township, half of it's Upper Marion.
So that creates some very confusing, maybe, like, legal issues when it comes to mortgages and stuff, correct?
Or even when there's, like,
Well,
issues they want to
taxes are-
handle, like,
yeah,
when they have to go to
issues.
one county and then talk to another county to handle
Yeah.
even
And
certain
they all
issues.
have different bylaws. Like, they're not the same, all the bylaws.
Do you
So.
find it difficult to get things done, like if you wanted a pothole fixed?
Well, we couldn't even get bumps in the road
Speed bumps.
just to slow people down. Because
Couldn't even get speed bumps?
no, it was a request, but they said they did some type of study and the neighborhood really didn't need it. But you go to other neighborhoods, and I don't even see a kid.
Who would have denied you the speed bumps? Who
Probably
was
are different. I
Yeah.
asked on Barbara, but we went to a meeting at the church. Like the church holds a lot of the community meetings.
Yeah, okay.
So that's where you find out a lot of things. You know, you go, and that's how it's always been. Anything community, you found out at a church.
Yeah.
Like that was happening. So I
They did a
remember.
study.
Yeah, they did some type of study. I'm like, when was the study?
Did you listen?
You know what I'm saying?
to
Like,
some-
I just wanted to know when the study was because I'm like, I'm here every day. I've never seen. And I was like, well, maybe I missed that study.
Right.
I don't know, but my thing is, why couldn't you?
Yeah.
What, it's gonna be like 4 little concrete bumps that you made?
Yeah, no matter at all.
So they wrote slow.
They wrote
Oh, they just
slow.
made a sign, just
They
slow.
wrote slow in the
That's all
And
they
what,
did.
put the little kids sign thing, slow, and then has little children, like if they're going across the street or something.
Yeah,
like
one
that.
of those children crossing signs. And so there are still a good amount of children in the community.
There is
Yeah,
because it's my sons are grown, but
Yeah.
they they're still
Of course.
kids.
Yeah, that's true. I see quite a few trophies over there, obviously.
Oh, they're here, back there,
Yeah.
up there. they're
Might
everywhere.
have an athlete in the family, maybe?
Yeah, he's a black. He's a
basketball.
black belt. No, he's a black belt also.
In what?
That's all karate. That's all from karate.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
in
no.
the other room. They're everywhere.
I'm a huge martial arts guy.
Yeah, my
That's
uncle has a
amazing.
karate school in Westchester.
Oh, no way. And
Yeah.
is your uncle from the neighborhood as well?
No,
Okay.
no, he's from Cleveland, but he's like an 8th or 9th degree black
Oh,
belt.
wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Justin is. I don't think it's up there, but yeah, he just got Competitor of the Year nationally.
No way. That's fantastic.
Mhm. He has a couple YouTubes on there.
Really? That's too cool.
But when you see him, you wouldn't, I call him Little Shorty Doo-Wop. Like, you think that he's,
Don't stand in front of him with that.
like, not, he's
style.
not threatening, basically. But, I
Oh,
guess when the
God.
fight goes on,
It's a wrap.
yeah.
It's not good. Not good
Yeah,
stuff.
so yeah, it was good for him. It was good for him once he went to upper Marion. Then he got help with dyslexia.
Yeah.
I mean, he was diagnosed late, but
Okay.
that was the thing when you're where I kind of still give. Sometimes you're labeled as a bad kid.
Yeah.
Nobody
Absolutely.
wants to fight. So I was his advocate. You don't have an advocate, these kids get lost.
Absolutely.
And with these educations here, there's no reason why these kids shouldn't be going to what teachers and what educators are not pushing these kids to go to college.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my thing. They're getting better, but it's like, okay, these are one of the top educations out here, and our kids are not benefiting from it.
Of course. So your son, he's 18, you said?
He's 19.
19, and so he must have just recently graduated high school.
From Upper Marion, yeah.
And do you still have any in
No,
school?
no. My
just
other
one
my
son.
other one is getting ready to turn 25 now.
25 and 19.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So did they personally experience any sort of segregation in school? Did they ever come back with any harrowing stories?
Well, my oldest son went to school in North Carolina, no.
No.
But this my youngest son, we did have conversations with the principal and his cousins and his friends about how they felt like they were being harassed by because they don't understand them. They are vibrant kids with personalities. They're not like sitting in the corner waiting for somebody. They like to have a good time at lunch and
Exactly.
moving around, and they're athletes. And yeah, my son had got a concussion one basketball.
Oh, jeez.
And I remember the teacher calling us and said something about emailing or whatever. Now, every teacher that knows me, if there's a situation, my son Justin if he feels like I don't know about it, he's like, oh, I'm clean. Okay, but if he says, oh, we're about to call your mom, then, so the teacher said that, she sent me an email. My email all comes to my phone.
Yeah.
So I said, no, you didn't. So I pulled it out because she had failed him for the class. But he had a concussion for 2 weeks. And he was out. Now, I'm not saying that he was right because he didn't do some of the stuff that he was supposed to.
Yeah.
But he still was out for 2 weeks. And you're telling me you emailed me. So I had everything. But I was a fighter for him. All kids might not have that. Or all parents might not know how to do it.
Of course, yeah.
So I went. We got it all changed around. And the principal was like, he's just sitting there. And I just told her, when I give my child to you, you need to treat him like he's yours. I'm not saying he's right on what he did, but don't sit here and tell me you sent me an email. I email all day.
Yeah. It's
You
21st century.
I mean, you can call me. If there was a situation and you really were a part of his success, you know what she told me? That I was hurting him because I was concerned and I was like babying the situation.
What, like handicapping him or something like that?
I said, let me tell you something. I don't know how your parents, but I'm 47 and my mother still got suggestions on what I should do. If I take them, okay. If I don't, but she's my mother.
It'll never stop.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then she said something. She didn't know because I had a long sleeve shirt on. She said something about tattoos. Yeah, I told my son that, he shouldn't get tattoos and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I have 9. So what do you say? Am I offended now? No, I'm not offended because you don't know any better.
Yeah.
But the problem is they don't realize I grew up here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not new. Like, I'm not from the city. There's nothing wrong being from the city, but this is my neighborhood. This is my hood.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I'm not new. You're new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what they have to recognize, that all of us just didn't resurface from somewhere else or get transported here or for jobs or whatever. Like, we lived here. We know the area.
So it is almost like Mount Pleasant is the forgotten little...
Yeah, like, they're like, think that there's no black people here. And there is. Like, and I'm just saying. But yeah, I did have to fight for my son on a lot of things with school. Where they wouldn't, if I didn't know the laws, or if I didn't threaten that I'd be at the state suing them, they would have never moved, and he would have failed.
Oh, jeez. So you said your son was, he's a karate black belt. He seems very vibrant and out there. Is that sort of the consensus for Mount Pleasant? It seems like everyone I met with Barbara was very outgoing and definitely not shy. This is not a shy.
You met him, he's not shy. He's humble, but he's not shy. They're just... We were brought up to speak your mind and not be disrespectful, but don't let anybody get over on you.
Of course.
And work hard for what you have.
Obviously, you had a great mother, but do you think that some of it was neighborhood influence
as
well?
It was neighborhood because you could go, even if you couldn't go to your mother, you had somebody else across the street to go to.
Yeah.
My friend's father, he's the one who taught me all about sports, and then I became a sports writer in college.
Oh.
And I did sports information for the CIAA.
Oh.
So it wasn't just because I love sports, but it wasn't because my dad, he didn't really watch sports. My mom, I was the only one watching sports in the house, like glued to the TV. But it was because somebody in the neighborhood that I knew and took the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at here. What's our time on the camera right now? Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm verbal. I'm
just
a verbal person.
No, please. I can. This interview could go for 4 hours.
Right,
I could
talking about
ramble
everything.
forever. Yeah.
Don't even know.
We don't know.
No.
All right. I should have started a stopwatch, but it's okay. I'm sure we're somewhere within a half an hour. I'm assuming, but let's see here. Where are we? Well, I've asked this question a few different ways, and I'm sorry for kind of repeating frequently, but what is the best and worst part of Mount Pleasant? Obviously, you've mentioned the community and how loving everybody is and how close-knit everyone is. But
I guess maybe because not first thought about bringing good things here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you were put in a community center, how come that's not thought about, here?
Of course.
I remember when the kids accidentally had a little fire up the street, like, in the playground area. The kids played with matches. They do it. They do. I remember my son, let fire the popcorn. I freaked out and never lit anything again. But you know what I'm saying? How you got some downtime and
we're all pyros at 12.
But how come we don't have little baseball leagues here in the neighborhood? It's usually outside people that are coming to have their baseball leagues. I run a basketball league, but I run it in Norristown. I don't even run it here. Because, that was the need at the time. I lived in Norristown because the kids needed it. They needed it there. But how come those things aren't started with our kids in mind?
Of course. So you feel almost like the community of Mount Pleasant has the support from the individuals, but maybe not the actual township backing to have basketball programs.
It takes money to do all those things. It takes sponsors to do all those things,
Of course.
Because I see other people going up there. Last year my son did run. We had a tournament up there on the day they had the church bazaar, and it came out nice. So they had I think it was 10 teams we had.
Oh, really?
They played all day till the last game. I played about 10 games.
Oh.
But mean, all these other neighborhoods, like in Norristown, the surrounding, they have things going on.
Right, just have something for the kids to do.
And, you know, they have things going on all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
And we have a great park up there, but
not really.
No, so you know.
Oh jeez.
Which is kind of sad because like after whatever school homework work
there's nothing
for them to do. So then they're gonna do what they're not supposed to do or do something that's reckless, like having that extracurricular stuff.
Like have a summer program or something, or like there's nothing for them to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I just got back on my list here. To digress a little bit, you mentioned what did you do in college again?
Sports information.
Sports information. Mm-hmm. What drew you to do that?
I love sports.
You just love sports.
Yeah,
from your
I did
uncle?
it when I was in Upper Marion. I was a sports editor.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I did there, and then
so it's like communications, like sports.
Yeah, I majored in I don't do anything with it, but speech and theater and modern communication.
Trust me, who knows? I'll be able
you're not. No, unless you're going to be a doctor, dentist, or like really, who knows? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
PhD in psychology.
But I'm saying that's when you'll actually say, okay, you're doing your job. But mostly with business, whatever, you could be doing anything.
Yeah. You get a business marketing degree.
Well, because you don't know what you like.
Exactly.
Until you go do it. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I traveled with the basketball and football team.
Exactly. Is there any sort of marquee people who really took Mount Pleasant and were ultimately moved out and brought all their kids back, other than yourself?
Like moved from...
Like possibly moved down to Florida and then started their family back in Mount Pleasant.
I can't think of it. Everybody's kind of stayed.
Everyone kind of stayed?
If you were here, wanted to stay here, you stayed here. Like, you know what I mean? You might go to neighborhoods that are close by.
Okay.
But you're still here.
Yeah.
You'll see everybody on the weekends or, holidays, or they're always constantly coming back to the area.
Of course.
Yep.
Of course. Let's see here. I'm just going to have a few more questions for you and let you get on with your day. Let's see. Can you think of any?
I don't know if like Conestoga, is that like a middle high school?
That's the high school.
Yeah.
That's the high school.
And then Upper Marion.
That's the high school.
That's high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, that's the townships. I mean, they don't have like 10 high schools in one. They break it down by what township you live in.
Okay. So what years did your son attend? You mentioned he went to both, right?
Yeah. Well, when did he graduate?
So 2 years.
13. So he went. You
go to Marion first.
Yeah, 2010 to 11 and 12 and 13.
Okay.
For his last year, his senior year.
He finished at Conestoga.
No, at Upper Marion.
Oh,
Conestoga was the worst, especially with the because he had dyslexia.
Yeah.
It was like I was constantly up there. It was just.
So you left Conestoga because of the lack of support.
Yeah, and some other things. It just wasn't. It just wasn't a fit for him.
Yeah. Do you feel like maybe
Now, when I went to Upper Marion, it was a fit. He had a great. If I came up, I never really called. I always just showed up. They always like, oh, they're like, oh, you want to wait? Yeah, I'll wait for whoever's, whoever's available. Yeah. Because you tendency to tell people, okay, let's get prepared for whatever answer.
Right, whatever they're gonna say.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know what's going on. I did that at Conestoga too.
Do you feel like your issues at Conestoga were because they had a lower black population? I do,
because the kids could do more things. Like, I mean, it didn't affect the kids as much because they were friends and they went on, but it more affected the parents when they need something to do. The kids didn't really know they were being affected.
Yeah.
At sometimes.
Because kids are kids,
With it, you know what I mean? The worst situation is when he was in science and he came home and told me the lady made him feel stupid because he didn't. So if he didn't have a great resource teacher that reached out to me and I had to have a mass meeting, you could have destroyed this kid. Yeah. And I let her have it.
Oof.
Okay? Because if you're not for him, then we need to find somebody else. Then she used to call me every day. I said, is he not sitting there with you? You build a relationship. I already got a relationship with him. He's my son.
That's great.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he needs to trust you.
Exactly.
You know, like, why are you calling me?
Oh, God.
I mean, I could tell him what you want me to tell him, but is that, right now I'm working. So I can do that for you, but it's just going to happen every day.
So you found yourself that the administration was sort of like, oh, there's this lady again.
I don't think that once they knew, they just knew that they had to be held accountable for what to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I think when people don't know, okay, they have a what's a vocational school, which I'm not against.
Votech, is that?
Yeah, it's a Votech school. I forget where they go to about a certain junior or senior year.
Is it Pickering? Count? No, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure where it is, but you know, you don't have to go to school all day. You end up getting a trade or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good for some people.
Yeah, of course.
But the kids that are you saving any of these kids? Like, these are children. Not saying that less or more or who has what, but they still need to give them the same efforts that you give other children.
So they were basically saying, like,
I worked every day. These parents came, they're coming home and they're at home. They can jump up and leave. Like, they had no after school bus. Like, you had to go pick your kids up every day from, like...
You didn't have an after school bus?
No, like, I had to go pick them up. Somebody had to pick them up, like, yeah, basketball practice. Because the parents there, because of the pool of where you're coming from, the income level...
Oh, yeah.
The mother's basically home.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
And which is fine if you could afford that, but I'm a single mom and I'm working myself. I can't.
Of course. So your son felt like sort of a outsider, so to speak.
Except
for with his friends.
Yeah, with his friends, they like he's being picked on. Yeah. Now some of the things is his fault. I'm not gonna say it's his fault, but some were supportive. Some of the teachers and some of that got it when he was at Valley Forge, which is part of Conestoga. Yeah. It was a great experience.
Was it?
But it depends on where you're at, what you're doing.
Yeah, and Upper Marion, correct?
Upper Marion, not Lower Marion. Upper Marion. That's in King of Prussia.
Yeah, that's right. I always mix them up for some reason. So Upper Marion has a pretty large black population.
It's black and it's Chinese and it's Indian and it's Spanish. It's diverse.
Yeah. Is that where a lot of the kids around here go? Is Upper Marion?
No, most of them go to Conestoga.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, most of them go to Conestoga.
Still the same issues, maybe? Do you hear from any parents?
I'm pretty sure they're the same issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just depends on how involved as a parent that you are and how personal you're going to take it. Exactly. You can take it personal, but also make sure that you're getting the things that you need and fighting for the things that you need. Because our emotions take over, so then we forget about everything we're supposed to ask for when we get there. Exactly. A lot of people don't know when you have your child is dyslexic and you have your, IEP, your whole everything done. That's a legal document. Yeah. So the school has to follow it. You can't just say I'm not going to do this. Exactly. So if you never call them on that, and that's what they were waiting for me. Never. I'm like, yo, we can go to the state. I've already written them what I should do because he had a problem this last year. Oh my God, with chemistry.
The worst.
The junior year, and this lady was the worst. Her and Justin did not mesh. Like it just did not. It just did not work as a relationship. You got to remember now, these children are way further developed, mind, body, social skills than I was.
Oh yeah.
As a junior, you guys were more developed because we were our parents sheltered us from certain things we didn't see, but
especially with internet and all that stuff being
you're more developed than what we are. So you gotta know these kids. They know how to build relationships. They know who doesn't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a bad situation.
From Facebook, who aren't your friends.
Right. It was a bad situation.
It's not good.
I had to go to the school. I had to fight, and then he almost failed that class until I called the state, and then basically went back to them and I said the state said if you don't give him a modified test, you have failed the student.
Woo. And it's crazy that
because they're supposed to give him because he has a rare form of dyslexia.
Oh, okay.
His form is that when he reads, the processes are different. It's not mixing up numbers. Okay. His is he understands it, but you might have to read it to him in his earlier times.
Okay. All right, that's interesting.
Not that he couldn't get it.
Well,
it just might need to be, like, I could say, oh, go over here to the right. But he might read, I might need to go to the left. I mean, I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that's his interpretation is different than our interpretation. So reading it and him hearing it is almost like he memorizes it. So then he gets it better than his mind interpreting. So he had a rare form.
A little less fluent than his kicking.
Right. Yeah, his basketball skills. Yeah. So, but I'm saying we basically turn it around and say what you want for basketball and karate is the same thing you want from being a student.
Exactly.
It was more of a frustration for him, and more when he had to go to, and this is for all kids, go separately to get help makes you sometimes feel like
something's wrong with you or something.
But these kids need help too. They're just not telling you. Yeah, you know, I have to tell them all the time. They're probably secretly going to get help.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, I guess I kind of have two more questions. Maybe we've been almost an hour. Yeah, maybe even a little over.
Okay.
So, well, I guess we'll stick with because I am interested in the IUP. So, once he left Conestoga. He started getting a lot of support.
Support. I told him my issues from the beginning.
Yeah, so.
And then if he had any teacher that he had, and it became an issue, but Mr. Lindsay, who was his support teacher, awesome. Like I call him at home. Yeah. Like that's how awesome he was. He made himself available.
That's great.
And that's how we got through that year and when it was the chemistry.
Okay.
Because it was like crazy. It was having like somebody understanding because what we're going through and making, when your kid's crying that they don't know if they're going to make it and you're sitting there and you basically have to be like, okay, I got to go up here and see what we can do.
It's a tough parent for anything.
But that means he had to go to every day and do his work.
Work hard, yeah.
Like every day. We got through it. Yeah. He did great on the final. So how you telling me this kid can't get it?
Yeah. Apparently
you know what I mean?
Apparently he can.
And it's just sad that you can't assume anymore that the school's going to do what they need to do
That's
to ensure that your kid is getting the education they need. It's sometimes you don't have time. Like you said, you were a single mother. My mom's a single mother as well. She had 3 boys she was trying to raise plus me. Like, you don't always have the time to sit there. Okay, what is going on? What teacher you having a problem with? This, that, and the fourth. Like, we need to get the schools to be like, this is what, like how it was back in the day. Like, no, this is what you're gonna learn.
They actually called home when there was a problem. They didn't just let it go on.
Send emails.
Call. I'm like, can you call?
That's why
usually when I got an email, I call. I'm like, okay, now tell me what's going on.
Oh gosh.
Like, cause that's me. Like, I want to know from you and what you really the expectation is, and okay, well, how come I'm just hearing